Hi there, it's Teresa. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be looking into one of the housewives of Beverly Hills, Lisa Rinna. Okay, so Lisa had a very interesting year last year, 2022, and I just wanted to have a look-see into her astrology chart. I did get her time online. Hopefully it's accurate. It does sound like her when I explain to you what I see. And I also want to say, if anybody watching this video knows Lisa Rinna, please send her this video, because if she's been working with an astrology, and those of you who know, astrology works on cycles. So we're able to tell you what all the planets are saying, and telling you what cycle you're coming up on. So if she's been working with one, she either hasn't been listening or she needs to fire them and get a new one. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, so let's start by looking at Lisa Rinna and some of the things that she has done over the last year. I'd say 2021 was a powerful year for her. She got a lot of attention. And I think she thought, like most people do when we're going through cycles, it's going to continue. So she had basically the North Node in her first house. Here's her chart. So you can see she is a Taurus rising, and a lot of what she values about herself and taking care of herself, eating well, living well, is really what we know of Lisa Rinna. I mean, she's got a fabulous physique. She's really taking care of herself. And it can really show that she does like this luxury lifestyle. Now, some of my notes here, let me see. So it looks like in 2021 to 2022, like I said, she had this power that really made her feel invincible. What she didn't know was everything moves with transits and cycles. So this powerful feeling went into her 12th house. So instead of taking the back seat a little bit and not being so in everybody's face, which she should have done last year, you would have thought she would have done, because her beloved mother Lois passed away and it really influenced her. So instead of pulling back, which it was indicated in astrology that she should have done, taking the back seat, not being so boisterous, and just kind of taking care of herself, sleeping. She probably wasn't sleeping because of this Rahu, we call it in Vedic astrology, North Node went into her 12th house of slumber, and it may have disrupted her sleep. So I'm assuming in 2022 she didn't get a lot of sleep. A lot of hurt and pain, it was all visible. Now, what she should have done, because I'm going to tell you in some of her cycles, is there is a focus, and it started at the end of 2021, pretty much October. She had a shift in her beliefs and feelings and everything about money, women. There's a huge shift that took place for her, and this shift will continue for a while. I mean, a few, not just a couple of years. This is going to continue for a cycle. So she's on more than one news cycle. So she needs to pull back and do things different than what she did last year in 2022. Now, looking at this, things that are coming up for her now, they will start taping probably, I'm thinking the end of January, February. So if she gets a chance to listen to this video or speak to a really good astrologer, they will advise her that she is going to need to do things different if she does make it back on the show. She may have done some things that was too much in people's face. And right now, the transit is that a very aggressive planet of Mars is in her first house of self. So there's a lot of anger coming towards her still. because of a lot of things that happened last year with Garcelle, as well as Sutton Strack. I mean, she she made it a point to tell Sutton, "You are my punching bag. I'm going to take out everything I can on you." I think she thought Sutton wasn't liked. I'm not quite sure what her thinking was, but like I said, she had a powerful 2021 to 2022 because the North Node was in her first house. And that feeling can make you feel invincible, but then it moved. So she may have felt like she could still do the things and get away with the things. Now, those of you who have watched the show know that she's been kind of the bad girl for quite a few seasons. And I don't know if this is a deal that she's had with producers to bring drama to the show or if this is just something she does naturally. Being a Taurus rising, I don't really see that, but she does have, as you can see, a lot of planets in her second house. And right now, Venus is going to be a focus for her for quite a few years. Now, she also has the North Node in her natal chart as in the second house, as well as the Sun and Mercury. So she's really been dealing with a lot of family issues, and this Venus is her probably trying to stress to women what she's going through with her family issues, the passing of her mother. There's been some issues as well with the children. Now, she does have her fifth house right here is with her children, and there is a lot of karma with the children. It's just it's going to be a natural process for her to have to deal with issues with her children as well as with her spouse because of the setup of her chart. This is just most people that are a Taurus rising are going to have similar issues in their life as well. Now, speaking of her husband is showing in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio does not mean that's his sign, but in her natal chart, it is her sign of how she deals with the spouse. And the spouse comes with a lot of karma. Her spouse, Harry, may have some psychological issues from his childhood that he has had to deal with, which means she's had to deal with. And as we all know, he's very secretive because of that Scorpio placement. So she's dealing with a lot of issues as far as that in the last 2 years because she was not the focus as much as the spouse was. And he is secretive. So there's a lot that he doesn't want a lot of people to know about him, which is probably why he's not on the show all the time. He is on the show sometimes, but he's not on the show all the time. And having this placement really does speak a lot to me as far as that. So the next thing I also could see too is that she just started a new cycle with the nodes. So not only did she not understand that this cycle for her to have this power was going to end, she's also on a new cycle where her nodes, every 24 years you'll have a nodal return, and that means now you've gone through all your life lessons and now you need to move on to the new lesson. So that for her happened in 2020. Pretty much she was going through this new beginning of her new life lessons. Okay, and then it moved because, like I said, the transiting planets are always moving. So sometimes when I would do charts for people, they would think this is my chart forever, and I'm like, no, it changes every year. So that's why it's good to get like a yearly checkup with an astrologer or watch the channels. But you have to understand that everybody's got their own personal astrology chart. What you see here for Lisa is not going to be the same for me. Now, Lisa and I are in the same generation. She's actually almost a year older than me, maybe a little over a year. So we do have some similar things that we will deal with on the as far as like Saturn, Uranus, Pluto, and also Neptune. So we'll have some similar things for our generation that we have to deal with. And part of that was we have a disillusion with relationships. Our relationships with our spouses is not the same as our parents. And we may have idolized that because of Neptune was in Libra at the time of our birth. So I can see that she may have an idolization of Harry because of the generational way that a lot of people in my age group are looking for that beautiful romance that we believe our parents may have had if our parents stayed married, because that was the generation behind us that they really did stay together. Our generation started breaking up and breaking out. So we come with a whole other can of worms when it comes to karma. Now, with that being said, I can also see that she may not have been told that she was going through a Saturn return. Now, I know that Gwen Stefani did an album called Saturn Return. So many people who are celebrities do work with astrologers, and they tell them that when you're getting ready to go through a Saturn return, and you usually go through this about every 30 years, so 28 to 30, a little bit maybe 31, you're going to go through a Saturn return, which puts a lot of pressure on you to get you ready for the next stage in your life. So when you're hitting 30, you're pretty much learning to grow up and learning to do things totally on your own, probably buying your first house and maybe getting married in your 30s. So you've got to shift from the 20s to the 30s. Well, people in my age group like Lisa are going through a Saturn return in their 60s. So we have to learn to shift from not being number one and maybe, being grandma, being grandpa, shifting to being more wiser and giving advice. And this is what that Saturn return is all about, getting us ready to be in our 60s, 70s, 80s. Now, then, if we live long enough, the next one will be in our 90s. So every 30 years, we're all going through a generational time to grow up and move to the next phase in our life. Now, if she wasn't told this, I'm telling you, she went through a Saturn return pretty much last year. Now she's going through this year. She's going to go through a Sarisati. We call that Sarisati in Vedic astrology, is when Saturn comes near and crosses over your moon. It's very harsh. It feels like a lot of pressure. And she's going to have this. Sometimes in our age group of 50s, 60s, 70s is where when Saturn crosses over the moon, that's usually when you'll see your mother pass away. Now, she already has had her mother pass away. So, but her moon is in Aquarius. So she's dealing with a lot of pressure. So what the understanding of how this works is the Saturn pressure starts the sign before. So for her, not only did she go through a Saturn return, she started her Sarisati because Saturn was in Capricorn, and that's where it starts, the sign before. Her moon is in Aquarius, and it then goes on to really bring on the pressure to mold you into you breaking down and moving into this new generational thought pattern and changing your beliefs, because you have to change and you have to grow up and mature. Not that she's not grown up, but okay. So, and then you get it into the next sign. So she will then continue this Saturn going over the moon and then going to the next sign of Pisces. So it's kind of like a 7.5 year of pressure that's put on you when Saturn's going to go over your moon. Now she's had this pressure going on. You can see it with a lot of the, her like breaking down and us not really understanding what the heck is going on. We understand her mother passed away, and that's very hard. But she seemed to be way dramatic about everything and then blaming it on, well, my mother passed away. And they should be helping her. a little bit of karma there. Saturn's all about karma. Lisa's brother, Lisa, now I'm talking about not Lisa Rinna, but Lisa Vanderpump's brother passed away. And where was her concern for Lisa when that happened? So there's a bit of karma here going on too. When you don't do for others, karma has a way of coming back. Now, we all know she had her tagline last year that she was karma the bitch, which made me laugh. I'm like, you don't want to mess with karma. But I think she found that she may have been one, a bee, but karma was really raking over her. And it was a lot of this Saturn. So she's going to continue to have this pressure. Now, I got to give some goodness to her so that if she does make it back on the show, she does have some help from others. And I can see this because she's having a Jupiter return. And Jupiter's going to return pretty much in the next few, I'd say maybe 6 months. She's going to have a Jupiter return, but Jupiter's already in her house of Pisces. And Jupiter likes to be in Pisces. It's traditionally, it's its ruling planet in the classics. Nowadays, we've assigned Pisces to have Neptune, but Jupiter's always loving to be in Pisces because it can really do and expand in our consciousness. Now, this is going to be what's going to help her. This is where she needs to pay attention to. She's not the power player this year. Her power is in others, helping others. So that's why I'm saying, if anybody knows her, if she's been working with an astrologer, I'm telling you, she's either not listened or she needs to fire the astrologer and get a new one. But her saving grace this year will be her helping others. So that's got to be a huge focus. And if she doesn't help others, she continues to shoot other people down and not be there, it's to her own demise. It's not going to be good. Now, it's going to be kind of hard because this year she's going to feel a lot of pressure. And like I said, right now she has Mars in her first house, so she's feeling a lot of anger. A lot of people don't want to see her return to the show. I'm one of these people that I could see that they probably hired her to stir up some drama, just like Kyle has been stirring up drama. I think maybe they've told her. They say Kyle produces the show, so if she didn't have a storyline, she got in and kind of mixed things up just to keep the show going. And I think, honestly, this formula is coming from the drama that the girls, or the women, I should say girls, the drama from the women on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I mean, they know how to read. Anybody who loves a read, watch Atlanta. And that's why the Housewives of Potomac have done so well. But it's a different type of energy. We're dealing with women who really know how to come at you with words, not pulling hair, fighting and all that kind of stuff, which, you've seen on some of these other kind of shows. That's why the Potomac episode where there was some hair pulling and fighting, it just, come on, that's not what we want to see. Plus, we went through so many changes in 2020 and 2021 that we want to see others help each other. So the atmosphere of tearing each other down and that kind of drama is not playing well. And a lot of the producers of the show may be pushing the women to do this, but it's not where our psyche is at. I mean, the frequency has changed. And this year, it's going to change to really people being more intellectual, being more thinkers and researching. So the show needs to be a lot more careful about careless drama. I mean, in the years past, we've seen some stupid drama with Pantygate. Those of you who've watched the show, you know what I mean. Puppygate. I get the thing about the puppy. The Pantygate thing, it was just ridiculous. But the Puppygate, I get that Lisa Vanderpump would be upset if she gave out a puppy and it ended up in a kill center. I get that. But to make the whole show and then attack Lisa Vander Pump, and then to the point where she doesn't even want to come to the reunion show. Come on. So I think the philosophy of the drama needs to be thought out. Not everybody wants to see cutthroat drama. Like we've got some cutthroat drama going on with Housewives of Utah. I mean, not Utah, but Salt Lake City. We have a lot of situations going on with that show. I really want to do some astrology on what's going on with some of these women, because that one's a little bit, oh boy. But back to Lisa Rinna. Okay, so if I could give any advice, Lisa returning to the show, and I know a lot of people don't want to see her return, but like I said, she's having a Jupiter return and she's got a lot of help coming her way. So Lisa really needs to help others. She needs to stop with the drama, stop with the beating up on others verbally, especially on if she's done any of it online. All of that needs to stop. I know they kind of caught her, and Andy Cohen had to like let her know on one of his talks with her that it's just too much. So she needs to understand it's too much, and we're in a different timeline, and people don't want to put up with this. So if Lisa returns and she really focuses on the goodwill of others, helping others, maybe even starting an organization to help others in her name of her mother, that would be fabulous to see an organization to, under Lois's name, and fuel all that hurt and pain of losing her mother into this foundation. I really do think it would make her like look different. And we really need to see some changes on the show. So if she doesn't get removed, if she shifts, I think she's going to do really good. So that's my take on my reading here on looking at Lisa Rinna's Vedic astrology natal chart. Okay, if you enjoyed it and you want to see more, let me know. I really love the psyche of these Real Housewife women, and I want to do a few more. But of course, I'm not going to do more if this is not something that's going to be popular on my channel. So right now, it's the beginning of the year, so I'm testing a few different videos out. So if you like it, give me a thumbs up. And please like, share, and subscribe. And hit the notification bell for all so you don't miss any of my uploads. And thanks for stopping by. Come back again soon.